Today, we're going to explore the fascinating history and current reality of a unique community in Brazil, the Favelas of Rio de Janeiro. We'll take a look at how they were established, the challenges that their residents face, and the impact of organized crime and gang violence on their daily lives. By the end of this video, you'll have gained a deeper understanding of the people who live in the favelas and the cultural landscape of Rio that they help shape. So, watch the video till the end and discover the top 10 crazy facts that make the favelas such an essential part of Brazil's history and culture. Number 10. The story behind favela formation. The favelas in Rio de Janeiro have a complex and long history that's closely tied to the challenges of urbanization and social inequality. These communities began to form in the late 1800s and early 1900s when Brazil was rapidly industrializing, and people from rural areas were moving to cities like Rio in search of work and better lives. Unfortunately, they found that housing in the city was very expensive and hard to find. As a result, many people ended up living on undeveloped land in the hills around the city, which eventually grew into the crowded favelas we see today. Number 9. The struggle for necessities. Favelas neighborhoods in Brazil have a lot of people living in a very small area. They are often built on hillsides or in narrow spaces between buildings, so the houses are very close together. This means that families have to share resources like bathrooms and water, and there is very little privacy. Living in such close quarters can also cause health problems and social tensions. Despite these challenges, the people who live in favelas are very resilient and supportive of each other. They have formed tight-knit communities and help each other out in times of need. However, because of the crowded living conditions, cities need to create sustainable plans for these neighborhoods. This means finding ways to improve living conditions and provide better access to resources like clean water and waste disposal facilities. As we explore the rich history of Rio's favelas and admire the strength of its people, it's time to come face to face with the difficult challenges posed by gang violence and the government's efforts to fight it. Number 8. The toll of gang violence. In many favelas, drug gangs have a stronghold, influencing and controlling the lives of residents. These gangs claim specific areas within the favelas, where they enforce their own rules on the community. Their influence extends far beyond the drug trade, affecting things like safety, justice, and even access to social services. Rival gangs often clash over control of valuable drug routes and territories, leading to violent confrontations and casualties. Shootouts and intimidation are sadly common, creating an atmosphere of fear and unease for everyone living there. The presence of these gangs has led to high levels of violence in favelas, making it harder for efforts to improve living conditions to succeed. Sadly, the influence of gangs can also keep people trapped in poverty and hardship, as violence perpetuates a cycle of despair. To make favelas safer and more secure, it's crucial to address the underlying issues that fuel gang activity, such as poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunities. By tackling these root causes, we can help create better lives for everyone in Rio de Janeiro's favelas. Number 7. Government's pacification operations. The Brazilian government has carried out various police operations, often called pacification, to tackle crime in favelas. However, these efforts have stirred up controversy because of their forceful tactics and claims of violating people's rights. Sometimes, clashes between law enforcement and residents have led to injuries and even deaths among civilians. Critics argue that these aggressive approaches worsen tensions in already disadvantaged communities, making people lose trust in the police. There have also been reports of unfair arrests, instances of police brutality, and even unlawful killings during these operations, raising serious concerns about human rights. While the government says these operations are necessary to fight crime and restore order, many activists and groups focusing on human rights call for a different approach. So, now we confront the harsh realities of gang violence and the government's controversial pacification efforts. It is time for the exploration of the tumultuous struggle for safety and justice in favelas. Number 6. The introduction of UPPs in Rio's favelas. For many years, gangs of armed drug traffickers have held control over numerous favelas. However, in 2008, a significant change began with the introduction of the first UPP, Police Pacification Unit, in Santa Marta. This marked the start of efforts to bring pacifying police forces into many of Rio's largest favelas. Before the UPP program, Rio experienced a troubling cycle. Police would raid favelas, leading to shootouts with traffickers, only for the traffickers to regain control once the police withdrew. This constant back and forth put residents at risk, with frequent clashes between rival traffickers adding to the danger. Residents in these areas often had to pay fees to criminal organizations for basic services, like utilities, leading to extortion and tax evasion. The UPP program aimed to break this cycle of violence and extortion, especially with Rio hosting major events like the FIFA World Cup and the Summer Olympic Games. It was seen as a crucial first step in tackling the urban violence plaguing these communities. Number 5. The role of police in favelas before UPPs. To make these areas safer, the government created a program, notably UPP. Before UPPs are established, the police search for weapons and drugs and ask residents to report any crime anonymously. Then, newly trained police officers replace the elite police unit, BOP, and work in the area permanently. So far, 34 UPPs have been created, and the government aims to have 40 by 2014. Some UPPs cover only one favela, while others cover several smaller communities. Since UPPs have been implemented, violent crime has gone down, and property values have gone up. But challenges persist as we explore the enduring grip of trafficker control and the quest to restore trust in Rio's police. It's time to unravel the complexities of favela life, highlighting resilience and determination amid adversity. Number 4. The persistent impact of trafficker control. Where the UPPs were introduced, there's still lingering fear from the days when armed drug traffickers ruled for decades. This fear, rooted in the law of the traffickers, persists even after the implementation of UPPs. For example, when a former drug trafficker from Mangueira was killed during a police operation in Jacarezinho in April 2012, others from the same criminal group ordered businesses in Mangueira to close early as a form of retribution, despite having their own UPP. Similar incidents occurred in February 2013, highlighting the lasting impact of the previous control by drug traffickers. Although efforts have improved safety in areas with UPPs, criminals have relocated to other parts of Rio, such as Baixada Fluminense and certain North Zone neighborhoods, where there are no permanent police patrols. Number 3. Restoring faith in Rio's law enforcement. In Rio de Janeiro, there's a long-standing history of police abuse and corruption, which only worsened the conflict between drug traffickers in the favelas and law enforcement. However, recent efforts led by Secretary Beltram aim to tackle corruption within the police force. As part of this initiative, the UPP program recruits officers straight from the UPP Police Academy to serve in the favelas. For example, in August 2012, 750 newly trained officers were deployed to police the large Rocinha favela. Beltram emphasized that the primary goal of the UPPs is to reclaim the streets from armed criminals, rather than solely targeting drug trafficking. Efforts to improve policing have shown promising results, with a decrease in the homicide rate reported within Rio de Janeiro's favelas. According to a 2010 report by the World Organization Against Torture, OMCT, these steps signify progress in addressing the challenges of crime and corruption in Rio's communities. Number 2. Willingness to discuss sensitive issues. A survey conducted in July 2012 among residents of Rio de Janeiro's favelas, where UPPs have been implemented, revealed positive changes in crime rates. Violent crimes and deaths have decreased, while previously unreported crimes like theft, domestic violence, and rape are now being documented. The survey also found that people are more willing to discuss sensitive topics like street violence and illegal drug activity. However, some still feel hesitant to speak out, fearing that the improvements brought by the UPPs may be temporary. Number 1. Overcoming stereotypes and unfair treatment. Even though many people are working to break down stereotypes and fight against prejudice, residents of favelas in Rio de Janeiro still face discrimination and unfair treatment just because of where they live. This makes it hard for them to get an education and access healthcare. Even though people who live in favelas are really strong and can overcome a lot, there are still a lot of big problems that come from the way that other people think about them. We need to keep working to help people understand and accept everyone, no matter where they come from, so that we can all be included and treated fairly. So this was all about today's video. If you enjoyed watching the video, please hit a like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.